Well, hello there. It's been a little while since our last video. This is the 100th episode, update episode, but the first weekly update. And so I'll briefly go over last week, how it's gone, and the successes, um, and the areas that need to be worked on, and then we will formulate the strategy for essentially how we will proceed for next week. So first, the successes. I think the first area um, of strong success is exercise. So we went 6 mile on 6 mile walks, really not really runs, uh, for all 7 days. So we've been incredibly consistent with it. And then on top of that, we've done the full workouts, which included three exercises for legs, push, pull, legs, push, rest, pull. Um, so we've done all of that. And so three exercises for that special muscle group, exercising that, and another two exercises for the core. And we've been also pretty consistent with that. So overall, things have been on that front remarkably successful. Um, I think the area that's related to exercise where we haven't been as successful is with food. My food has been kind of a little all over the place, and I think it's because I was getting sick of the meals I was having every single day. So that's a question that will need to be maybe worked on a little more um, for this coming week. So that's an area to keep in mind, um, that needs to be worked on. For work, we have also had really strong successes. We were essentially increasing. So I think my plan initially was to start with 1 hour a day of work, 7 days a week, and then increase that uh, to 1 hour, 15 minutes for next week. But we actually ended up adopting another more ambitious strategy where we started with 1 hour and increased the amount of work by 5 minutes day on day. And we finished today with doing an hour and a half of work, and we were consistent throughout that period. So that's a huge success, and we're well above um, uh, ahead of schedule with that habit. So that's also a great success. Third, on meaning, we've been very successful with that. So we did 5 minutes. Our goal was to do 5 minutes of writing every single day on the religion book. We've done that every single day this week. So that's 7 out of 7 again. Um, and so that's also been remarkably successful there. Then um, with our socialization goals. Really, with that, we were just trying to tell the truth more, and I made a huge advance with that by talking to the postdoc about some issue that I was having with research, and I did that, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Um, so that's very good. Though there are still some issues with that that will need to be solved for this week. But I think overall that has been remarkably successful. I've also been more honest when talking to my brother and to my father. And so I think this emphasis on being truthful and expressing myself has been bearing significant fruit in unexpected ways, really. And I think it's been really, really good. So that's socializing. We also have success there. And finally, with recreation, I think with that, we haven't really had an explicit policy for that. So we kind of, I think this is an area where we can maybe afford to think things through a little more, um, what we want in terms of our work, our recreation, how we want to focus on relaxing and stuff like that, um, and manage that a little better because really we should be putting as much effort into making my time enjoyable as we are into making my days productive. So they should be productive, but also enjoyable um, within reason. So so that's that. And I think other kind of areas of possible concern that we want to focus a little on is how long the morning exercise or the morning routine generally is taking. I think we've been slightly better at managing that and keeping the morning routine condensed um, and efficient. But that's something that we might want to work a little more on. So that's pretty much everything. So across the board, we've been remarkably successful, and we will essentially be working on all of that, um, continuing on that progress this week. So we have a lot to be very proud of, and I think this is really should merit a moment of just a pat on the back and some sort of reward. I've been trying to reward myself throughout the process for doing so well, because it is very impressive, like for someone to really push that much in 1 week. So um so I've been trying to be good to myself for that and to reward myself for that. And I think that doing something special would be merited, given the amount of progress that we've made over the last week. And also, so that's that. But now let's look ahead to next week and see what really we want to work on and focus on. I think the first thing is for exercise. I think we can now afford. So now we're in the habit of doing 6 miles every single day of walking. I think we can now afford to start incorporating some running. And we'll be on the lookout for development of shin splints or anything like that, and be careful with that and take preventative measures if such issues are to arise. I think a reasonable target that I can shoot for is essentially going for less than 15 minutes per mile. So going for a pace that's less than 15 minutes per mile every single day. And I think that would be good in terms of running, like really getting back into things now that the pollen situation is hopefully better. And hopefully my shins are also better. So it would be good in that sense, but it would also be good in terms of reducing the amount of time for the morning routine. So it would have kind of another consequence, an unintended positive consequence in terms of limiting the time for my morning routine. So that's the first policy, first improvement. For work, I think continuing to do 90 minutes of work every day is a good strategy that we can continue to adopt. And we should be, on the lookout to try to make sure that we are proceeding with that in a good, straightforward way, and that amount of work is translating well into getting done all the things that I need to get done. So that's important there. So that's good. So that's for work. For the working for meaning, I think two things that I would like to incorporate. So this is going to be sort of something really the main area that we're going to be focusing on for the next week. So here I'm thinking of introducing the exact same policy of doing increasing the amount of work we did last week, 5 minutes every single day, day on day. We'll do the same thing, but with writing. So I think starting tomorrow, I will keep the 5 minutes and introduce prayer as one habit in my evening routine, and then starting tomorrow, and then starting the day after, I'll begin increasing the amount of time spent on the writing by 5 minutes every single day until we reach 30 minutes a day. And that's going to be 7 days a week. I should say that's really the main advance that we'll do. With socializing, I'll continue with my habit of truth telling. I think we can just hold the line on that. And with recreation, I think what we can do is we can come up with some form of positive reinforcement, something that is good, that I would enjoy. And I think a good thing to use here is maybe The Office. I don't know, either The Office or some series in Netflix. I can determine it right now. That I can use as kind of positive reinforcement. And what we can do is every day, we can work on the morning routine and impose some sort of challenge for myself. That if I can do some section of my morning routine within a certain time, then I would get as a reward this time with the this reward to try to streamline that morning routine more and more and really get it down, so that ideally we would get it down to 3.5 hours, and then later as my running gets faster and faster, maybe even down to around 3 hours. That would really be just the optimal speed, I think. That would be great to achieve. So that's pretty much it in terms of what's new for next week. So really increasing the amount of work we're doing with meaning, and also trying to really reduce the time that we're spending on reduce the time that we're spending on the morning routine, making it more efficient while maintaining my exercise, increasing the speed of the runs a little bit, and holding the line in terms of work. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing, and this is actually a failure or something to be worked on, we had imposed or thought about imposing this routine where we'd spread out our weekly reset habits all throughout the week instead of just concentrating all of them on Sundays. I think, unfortunately, we haven't really been able to push that through. It just makes more sense, and it's easier to just group all of them and just do everything on Sundays. So that's something that we'll continue to do. I think it's just easier to keep those habits for Sundays. Now the relationship between work, the daily habits in terms of work and writing, and the weekly reset habits, doing both of those on Sundays may be challenging. So that's something we'll be on the lookout for, and we'll potentially have to have some sort of workaround for that situation. But we'll just keep it for this week, and we'll see how that goes. But that would be something to look out for. Okay, so overall, things have been going very well. I think we can continue on with this process that we're on. I think we're making progress, and we'll continue to make progress in an orderly way. So I hope that next week I can come and talk to you guys and tell you that it's been as successful as this week. But I think it's very exciting. We're moving in the right direction, and we should keep at it. All right, cool. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm really looking forward to talking to you again next week. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.